Hello, welcome to this week's MidWay, the middle of the week e-newsletter for LifeWay Community Church. We've been looking at 1 Samuel chapter 17 for the last 2 months, and I hope it's been a great time of just unpacking, exploring the story of David and Goliath in whole new ways, deep eternal truths that have very practical value for your everyday life. Last Sunday, we finally wrapped it up with this big look at the Israelite army, how every day for 40 days they lined up to face those Philistines. Every day they looked at Goliath and said, nope, not today. You and I do the same thing an awful lot. Too often, we know what to do. We just don't want to do it. We're not willing to do it. We looked at some of those reasons why. But it came down to this one rock solid truth that we saw through David's bias towards action. That until you do a real thing in the real world, your situation will not change or get better. David did a real thing in the real world, and the situation of Israel got much better. Same thing is true for you and me, and you know it. That's the reality as we move ahead in life, is that we need to make sure that we're doing real things in the real world. There's something very real, a very real step to take is this Sunday, 9:45, we are kicking off brand new life groups. Our life groups are an opportunity for you to not just get to know people in the church, but it's a great time to make intentional decisions about where you want your life to go. And this Sunday, we're going to look at, we're going to kick off groups for Sunday mornings, 10 a.m., and on Sunday evening as well, the two different groups called Rediscover Church. It's looking at church in the post-pandemic world. What does that look like to be a part of a church in a world that's changed so much after COVID? On Wednesdays at 1 p.m. and at 6 p.m., we're going to do groups called Wiser Together. And it's looking at what does it mean to live a godly life. And it's a study through the book of Proverbs. The book of Proverbs is a book full of godly wisdom. That's what it's all about. And both of these studies are great studies for adults. And these are amazing. What does it mean to be a part of the body of Christ? And what does it mean to live a godly life? And these are both great first steps in making a substantive change in your life. We also have groups starting up for both our kids and our youth. Those will be meeting on Sunday mornings at 10 o'clock following this Sunday. Now, this Sunday, we do have this great big thing that we're calling the breakfast blowout. It's a great time for everyone's going to be a part of all of our groups, from the kids to the adults, to get together, to explore what our groups are going to be on, and also just a time to celebrate the start of doing something new here in our church. So that's this Sunday, 9:45. We'll feed you breakfast. It is also daylight savings time, so don't forget to set those clocks back. Now, something else we asked you guys to do for our planning for 2022 is something called financial planning for 2022. We're not real creative with the names sometimes. But what it is that because things have changed so much in this pandemic world, we need to be able to budget accurately for moving ahead into next year. That's a part of being responsible, part of being a nonprofit here in America. And so we're asking you to just let us know, how much do you think that you are going to be willing to contribute to the life and ministry of LifeWay Community Church next year? Now, this is not a hard commitment. This is just to give us an idea of how we might budget for the next year. Now, we asked if you would just consider that and place that in our little offering box this Sunday morning when you come to worship at 11 o'clock. Now, this Sunday, also at 11 o'clock, we're going to kick off a brand new series. Jesus told his disciples that he would teach them to fish for people. What does that mean? What does that mean, not just in the ancient world, but to us today? I don't fish. Most of you probably don't fish. What does it mean to fish for people? And we're going to look at 4 big questions that Jesus needs us to answer. 4 big questions we need to answer if we're going to be able to fish for people, if we're going to do what Jesus expects his disciples to do in the first place. So this Sunday, we're kicking off new groups. We're looking for some idea for financial planning for next year. We have our big breakfast blowout at 9:45 a.m. And at 11 o'clock, we're going to start looking at those 4 big questions we need to ask. So until I see you, hopefully this Sunday, 9:45, may God bless you. Have a great week.